Syndicated presents Shep and Sean, featuring Matt Shepard and Sean Baligian.
He's Shep. I'm Sean. Pistons. You excited about the Pistons, Shep?
I am. I'm excited about them. I think they're the better team than Cleveland, but this is going to be a completely different matchup, as you know, because Cleveland can shoot the basketball and they've got multiple scorers from the perimeter. And I think their bigs are really a problem. I mean, I think Jared Allen's a really good player. I think Evan Mobley's a really good player. This will be a hell of a test for Detroit, I think.
I agree with you. This is not going to be an easy series by any stretch of the imagination. And let's face it, to their credit, they went out and made a move. I know some people, the wiseacres will say, well, James Harden made them worse. It's almost like adding the Sheriff Paddock, with Harris last year. I won't go that far, but, to all the people out there that were saying, Trajan should have added something at the deadline and it caught up to them in the first round. I mean, you're always going to say things like that. For me, Shep, I'm with this year, I'm not ready to pounce yet, but next year, especially after you finish number one, don't be like the other guys in town. Be aggressive, be proactive, do whatever you have to do to put the Pistons in a position to take that proverbial next step.
I agree 100%. I would worry a little bit if the attitude was, well, we'll just use this as a trial run because you just never know. I mean, that's the Tigers with Tarek Skubal. So you just never know. But I think it's a glaring evidence that what they need is another shooter or another ball handling guard. And I think that's where they lack. I think it's really cool when they can move Cade off the ball. Doesn't mean I want him there all the time. It just means a different look. That's what Dennis Schroeder provided. And ironically enough, they're playing Schroeder starting tonight, and JB Bickerstaff goes against his old team. So, Cleveland will not be as physical, but they will be more talented offensively. This is a team that, was fourth in the league in scoring. Now Detroit was up there too. I think Detroit might have been second. And they've got guys who can flat out fill it up. Who do you put on Donovan Mitchell? Do you put Asar Thompson on Donovan Mitchell, or do you put Asar Thompson on James Harden? What's it going to be? Because if you put him on Harden, I get the sense Harden give up is probably too strong of a phrase, but he will take his will away sooner than he would be able to do against Donovan Mitchell. But I think Mitchell's the better offensive player at this stage in his career, don't you?
Yes. 100, and that's a big time. We were talking about it this morning. I'm sure you were on your show as well. This is going 6 or 7. I know people don't want to hear it, but I think this series is screaming 6 or 7. I'm going to be nice and say 6, but I won't be shocked at all if this goes 7. And Shep, let's be honest, the way that the Knicks are playing right now. I know it's the Knicks, and I know they're soft, and I know at some point in time they'll nick. But right now, they seem to be in a different level than everybody else.
I don't know if I used to think that, and everything they did against Atlanta and what they did last night against Philadelphia would tell me they are not soft.
Yeah.
When they played Detroit this year, they sure didn't look like they had a lot of gusto to play and compete with them. That's why Detroit blew them out all 3 games. But something's different about that team right now. So I got to give them credit, because I didn't think they wanted to play very hard for Mike Brown. They have been playing at an elite level, and Jalen Brunson has been doing that. So people may not like him. They may consider him a flopper, and that's fine. But he's a guy who has led his team to some really impressive wins. When you're the first team in NBA history to have 3 consecutive wins of 25 points or more in the playoffs, that's saying something.
Leafs won the draft lottery, by the way.
Ray, so Gavin McKenna from Penn State is going to be there.
Yes. Heck of a player. Somebody asked me today, how would you categorize him? Shep, I hate the term generational player. I hate it. With a passion.
I don't think he is.
Not at all. I don't. I think he deserves to go number 1.
Oh yeah.
Not every draft has a quote unquote generation. And Ray, before you yell at me, when the Habs had number 1 overall, there wasn't a generational player there either. And they surprised a lot of people by taking Slavkovsky. You know, I mean, a lot of jaws drop when not every draft has a generational player.
Well, people thought Alexei Lafreniere was going to be a generational player. He has not
100%.
People thought Rasmus Dahlin was going to be a generational player. He turned out not to be, you know. So, not that they're terrible players, because Dahlin's a good player, but they're not generational players.
No. And I'll take Slavkovsky all day. I really will. The kid, it just seems like he's going like this, although he got his head rocked a couple times in that Tampa series, and it took some steam out of it. Let me ask you this. Ray was kind of giving me the business the other day. Ray, no offense. You know that. Ray said after the Habs Lightning Game 7 game, luckiest win ever. And listen, 9 shots on goal, you know the routine.
None in the third, yeah.
Yeah. What if I told you that Tampa led a grand total of 19 minutes in a 7-game series? What if I told you that?
Wow. That would stun me.
That's a factual statement.
Okay, then it's not a lucky series win.
Sorry, I'm with you 100%.
And you know what? I don't care if the role was reversed. That's what happens in sports. That's what happens, especially in hockey, because of skates off the boot, deflections in front of the net, weird bounces off the dasher. When San Jose beat Chris Osgood and the Red Wings at Joe Louis Arena, I believe you and I were there, Jamie Baker scored. Was that the luckiest series win ever? Or was that just a really good shot at the right time? When Quinn Hughes scored the other night for Minnesota off a skate in front, and everybody says he did it on purpose. He was aiming there on purpose. Perhaps he was. Perhaps he wasn't. Was that luck or was that skill? Listen, I hate to tell you, I don't give a crap. All I care about is my team advancing. If they needed a little luck to do it, then so be it. I'm sure there was some time during the season when Tampa got pretty lucky with a bounce here or a bounce there. I'm sure there's some time during the postseason, although they've been eliminated in the first round in each of the last 4 years. I'm sure there's some time during the postseason, during their cup runs, where they got lucky. Maybe not in a series, but maybe in a game or two in that series. Who's to say? I mean, so what? I'll take it, man. I will take it every single day of the week.
Yep.
Give me more of them, because my team has been unlucky in a lot of situations. And I would rather have the luck rather than be on the bad side of it.
I thought, Shep, that multiple games in that series, 2 of them that they lost, they were the better team. I think what they really did is they exposed how slow Tampa is. I mean, they really did. They exposed,
which is surprising, because Tampa used to be that team that was super fast. Vegas in the West, Tampa in the East; those were the fast teams.
They really exposed. I mean, points a guy that can still go, but that blew my mind how quick they were. And I mean, I know that Vasilevsky got mad when he heard John Cooper talk about the hockey gods, but that was a hockey gods game. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? You kind of got away with a couple games you shouldn't have. Yeah. And that one you deserved to win, and you didn't win. It was, I mean, all in all, what a phenomenal series that was.
It was a fantastic series. I mean, you talk about entertainment, and obviously road team won 5 of the 7, every game decided by 1 goal, 4 in overtime. That's special. And then Ray says, if Cooper was coach of a blue blood hockey city, 4 straight first-round exits would get him fired. Orlando fired its NBA coach who made 3 straight playoffs. Well, Orlando fired their coach, Ray, and he was bounced in the first round in each of those 3 years. That's number 1. Orlando, obviously not a blue blood. I'm not saying you're suggesting that. Tampa being a blue blood, he's got 2 rings. There's the difference. When you get rings, look, Joe Mazzulla is the first coach in NBA history to lose a 3-1 series lead, or is it game 7s? I forget exactly what that stat is Joe Mazzulla has. And we lost Sean for just a moment. He's back
I'm
with
back.
us.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. So, but he's got a ring. So there's a huge difference there. I mean, you're going to give that type of hardware, especially when you have 2 and you're there on a regular basis. I think people are going to give you a little bit of a leeway. I don't care if he's in a blue blood city or not. What's the blue blood city? The original 6? How many of the original 6 teams are really good? Montreal is it.
You know what's amazing too, Shep, is if you didn't have the previous failures and you didn't blow a historic game 6 at home, maybe we're not having this conversation. But this takes us back to the Pistons for a second. I always laugh at all the people. Oh, you thought they were dead. Everybody thought they were dead. Sure. When they were down 32 points or whatever the heck, everybody thought they were dead. Are you? Yeah. Come on, are you kidding me? What was it? 60-38 at halftime. I went and did other things, Shep.
Especially because of how it got that way, And look, let's be honest. They weren't necessarily playing the way you and I watched them win 60 games during the regular season. Fair enough? Okay.
Yep.
So if we recognize that they're not the same team that we saw during the regular season, we also admit that the postseason is different than the regular season, and they're down 3-1 in a series. They've lost a game at home, and they're down 24 in a road game to Orlando, who is better at home than they were on the road all season long. Why would you not think it's nearly impossible for them to come back? On top of all that, nobody was helping out Cade Cunningham. So we're human. Okay, we're going to have that type of emotion. Look, if we sit there and say, hey, listen, I still believe, then we're a slappy. If you say you don't believe, then you're a doubter and a hater. So you're really in a no-win situation.
Pistons up 22-14, by the way, with 4:17 to go at last check. Watch tonight's game between Colorado and Minnesota. That was... And he said, watch it be 2-1. That, Ray, it's so funny you say that. I was joking about it with my buddies this morning. That was, Shep, back in the day, the return to Smythe Division hockey. Okay, final score from Edmonton. Calgary wins 11-6.
Yeah.
It was like watching the Kings play the Oilers, Calgary play Winnipeg, Vancouver play whoever. And how many times have we seen it in that game? Now it's going to totally settle down, and you're going to look at a 2-1, 3-2 game or something like that. I mean, it was almost funny to watch. I don't know how much of it you saw. The Colorado game.
I watched quite a bit of it. Isn't the 15 goals as many goals as Toronto or as Tampa and Montreal scored in their entire series or close to it?
That would be. Let's see. There were
one of the teams
2-1, 4-3. I mean, yeah. Well. There were
2-1 3 times, right?
Yeah, and then
1-0,
and then a 4-3. There was a 4-3 in there too, right?
So, in almost 6 of the 7 games, it was something like that.
Yeah. Hey, and you know what? The funny thing is both goaltenders have been pretty darn good. I'm so happy for Scott Wedgwood. I got a chance to know him when he was with the Whalers. Great kid. Finally got an opportunity. He's been so good. I mean, this is the playoff. I mean, things you just expect the unexpected. How
about Alex Lyon coming through for Buffalo?
Dude, come on. Like, seriously. Like, really? Alex freaking Lyon. Like, what are we doing? I mean, that's exactly what it is. So Montreal wins with 9 shots on goal. Colorado wins with 9 shots in goal. Both great games. Yeah.
The word great is overused. I don't think the second game was great. It was entertaining, but I don't think it was a great game. Do you put Thompson on Harden or Mitchell? Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, Ray. I would say on Mitchell more than Harden.
Yeah,
I think Cade Cunningham's defense is underrated, but when you and I are done here momentarily, we'll take a look and see how they're matching up. That'll be interesting.
It was funny because John Cooper said the same thing. The 1-0 game, the game in Montreal, and that was a game that they should have won. It goes the other way. I thought the Habs were clearly the better team in that game. John Cooper sat there with a big crap-eating grin on his face. And he wasn't talking so much about the win. He was talking about, he was like, do you know how lucky we are that we get to play in a game like this and I get to coach in a game like this? And I was like, yes. And like, how can you be mad? Even if it's your team that loses, right?
Yeah.
How can you be mad at that? That he's 1,000% right,
Absolutely. And, he's a hell of a coach. He really is. But that's a great perspective. Even though his team lost in the gold medal game and now they do this and blow a lead like that, that's fine. But it's such a good perspective, that you wish you heard more of, without question. Before we let you go, I mean, what was your take on the Skubal thing? I know somebody said that.
Yeah,
somebody said that his agent made a mistake, which he didn't. No agent would have taken a short-term deal when you had a long-term $400 million deal staring you down the barrel of the gun. Okay. Nobody in their right mind would have done it, and the player wouldn't have done it either. Okay. Period. The question, goes back to you feel bad for Skubal because he's going to lose a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
You got to admit that. Okay. You got 3 left elbow surgeries and you're going to be 30 years old. There's a concern there. But the bigger question is what happened in Atlanta, Sean? Because this is where you saw a twinge of it, right? In Atlanta, you get the sense that there was some loose bodies in the elbow. He was shaking his elbow a little bit in the 7th inning in a 3-2 Tigers leading. He was facing Matt Olson. It was a 2-2 pitch. And he talked his way to stay in the game. Whose fault is that?
His. He knows better than anybody. He knows what's going on in there.
On the other hand, when he takes himself out, like he did against Seattle last year.
That's a good point. Everybody and their brother's going to crap on him, right?
And the year before against Cleveland.
Yep.
So
that is like legitimately, Shep. I mean, at that point, he's got to know that. But I'm going to tell you what. When we talk about how much money he loses, and I agree with you, he's going to lose. My question is, well, how much is it going to be? Because I think even, let's say he comes back. This ends up being 2.5, 3 months. Let's go 4 months. He comes back the first week of September.
He's not coming back.
Yeah, but he might not. Legitimately, you're right. He might not.
No way. If he's only going to pitch one game in the World Baseball Classic to keep him out of danger, and that had to have been at least part of the discussion with his agent. You think he's coming back for September in a playoff push, maybe to showcase his arm's okay? Sean, he can do that in the back roads of Plymouth in front of scouts and doesn't have to worry about that.
That's a good point. Shep, you're right. I listen. Well, I can't say you're right. You may be right. That's a legitimate point I didn't consider. You're right.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, if I were his agent, I would say no. Absolutely not. You're not coming. I mean, unless the Tigers are in some type of position and they're losing 6-2 tonight to a 14-21 Boston team with Framber Valdez, who's given up 6 earned runs.
Yeah. Well, Zach McKinstry's an all-star at third. I want to get that out of the way.
Sean, I have said this before the season began. Okay. And people just thought I was a hater. They just don't want to listen because they're so wrapped up in, I love this guy and I love that guy and all this other stuff. I said their offense isn't good enough. Kevin McGonigal was unbelievable, right? Mm-hmm. But their offense isn't good enough. Their defense is bad. Especially when they don't have Parker Meadows in center field. But their infield defense, McKinstry makes an error early on in this one. He's third base, right? Gleyber Torres isn't a good defensive player at second base. Cole Keith is still finding his way. McGonigal's been better than I thought. Dylan Dingle's really good. Riley Green's decent. Okay. Riley Green's better than decent. I just don't think their defense is very good. But I literally thought if this team was healthy with Valdez and Skubal and Mize, Verlander, never liked the Flaherty move. Wish they had Troy Melton back, right? Jackson Jobe, I wish he was back. That'd be great, but they're not. They would be in a position right now. People would laugh at me. I would trade for Mike Trout. Not now, but if they were all healthy, I'd trade for Mike Trout. He'd give you everything you need. He gives you a center fielder because you're not sold on Parker Meadows. He gives you a power right-handed stick, and he gives you a guy who's super hungry. And I don't know what it would take. I wouldn't give up McGonigal. I wouldn't give up Max Clark. There's certain guys I wouldn't give up. I'd give up plenty to try and get a guy like that.
He's 30. He's 33. He's shown at least flashes of being the old him. I saw an interview with him today, Shep. It's funny you mentioned that. And I forget who did the interview. I apologize. But they were talking about how, he's had a different approach. Look, he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Right. And he said, I decided to get leaner. Not that he was a pig or anything like that, but he goes, I decided to get leaner. And, there's no Miggy up there or Piggy. Right. It wasn't like that. But, this is a situation where, I understand that. But, Shep, I'll get back to Skubal, okay? Honestly, if Wheeler's making $42 million a year.
Correct, yeah.
That's the baseline if I'm Scott Boras. Isn't that adorable? Oh, that's so cute. Okay, so we're going to start with that. I'll never forget the one summer. Remember Carr with the Raiders kind of set, he set the market. Mm-hmm. And if you're Stafford's agent, you are just going like this, right? And then a few months after that, Aaron Rodgers is up and he's going like this. I mean, that's how it works. And
that's the wide receiver market from last year with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. Let them all set something, and then my guy will get in there for sure. And I don't even know if it's AAV. I don't know if it's the 42. Okay, I think it's the bulk of the contract. If it's Garrett Cole at 340, or close to that, you know damn well he's shooting for that. Okay, Blake Snell, a lefty with the Dodgers, and what he's getting. If people aren't using these, I don't know what people are thinking. Seriously, I mean, it's like you've got to go back to school for this stuff. If Zach Wheeler's making 42 a year, Scott Boras knows that, and that's part of it. If Garrett Cole's got the largest overall contract, not obviously Ohtani and Soto, but I'm talking about just for pitchers, then that's in his sights. If you're looking strictly at a lefty, he's looking at Blake Snell's contract, that's in his sights. All those things he's surpassing. And by the way, Paul Skeens' agent is looking at Skubal's contract.
Right.
Paul Skeens' agent is looking at all these other ones too. If Jacob deGrom's making 40, you know damn well that Derek Skubal is going to make at least that.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. I mean, come on, you guys. He just won an arbitration case where he made 32.
Yeah.
I mean, we're people are just losing sight of it. This is what I would do. No, it isn't what you do, because you would maybe propose it. You get laughed out of the office if you proposed it. I had somebody tell me that I would just sign him to a 2-year contract. If you're Scott Boras, why would you sign a 2-year contract?
Exactly. That's why, Shep, I think that's why so many people were shocked when the opportunity arose for Connor McDavid at Edmonton, that he signed that contract. And look, it's almost D-Day. You heard what McDavid said. You heard what Draisaitl said.
Yeah.
If you're the Oilers right now, you start thinking, okay, let's try to figure out a place we can move this guy and at least get a haul in return before he takes off in a couple of years.
They're pooping their pants for sure. And you know what? I'd do everything I could to get that guy. But remember, he doesn't want to go to a team that doesn't have any support for him. He's leaving a team that has barely any support for him. I remind this to people. Somebody said that about McDavid to me over the weekend. And I said, remember, he's winning with a top 3 player in the world. Top 5 player, Leon Draisaitl. How we rank them, Kucherov and all these, that's fine. I don't care. It's semantics. Leon Draisaitl is a top 5 player in the world. There's 2 of the top 5 players in the world on the same team, and they were bounced in round 1 by Anaheim. Holy crap, right? So you think he wants to come to Detroit? Why? Well, it's an original 6 city. Well, how many big free agents is Chicago pulling in? Or the Rangers pulling in right now, or the Maple Leafs? They want to get rid of a superstar, according to people there. How many of those superstars are going back to Boston? I mean, stop it with that stuff, right?
Yep.
That's not what it's about. How much support will he have? I would trade for him, but it depends. They would want everything and then some. I'd give up plenty of prospects for him.
If you're Connor McDavid, and I've had this conversation with people in this town. There's no reason to come here. I'm sorry. You can get mad at me, but there's no reason. Hey, listen. And the Leaf fans have kind of been living that pipe dream. You guys, number one, I think you realize what happened this past season, okay? And I don't think you're as bad as the record indicated. Number two, right now, you are literally the laughingstock of the hockey world for who you just hired as your general manager. You know it better than anybody.
Yeah, I saw that.
You are literally the laughingstock of the National Hockey League right now. Why on earth would Connor McDavid, who will be leaving Edmonton for one reason, and literally one reason only, to go chase a cup? There's no doubt in my mind that's what his aspiration is.
And ineptitude by that front office. Okay?
Yes.
The aforementioned front office who broke up a team, probably shouldn't have broken up a team, had plenty of guys there who were willing to still get after it, and locker room camaraderie is part of it. But you're right. Go ahead.
Why would you do that? And Shep, we were talking about this last week, and this ties in hand with what Jim just said, okay? Hey, listen, San Jose or Anaheim on the left coast, they're loaded right now. Yeah. They're loaded right now. Be afraid. Be very, very afraid. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then you've got Buffalo and Montreal who are loaded with more reinforcements coming. Right. Those are the teams. If I'm a guy, I'm sorry, I'm looking at that. I am. Hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to get a cup. Are you kidding me? I'm going to go to California and go get a cup. Okay, cool. Later.
Yeah. Who cares? You get the cup. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
It does not matter. all that matters is you get that ring. That's what you've been chasing. Look, I mean, it's not a whole lot different than what we're talking about with Tarek Skubal. Oh, he loves Detroit. I saw a former Detroit radio personality who's now in a different market tweet out how Skubal loves Detroit and how, he's all about Detroit and all this other stuff. I'm thinking to myself, you getting caught up in him wearing jerseys, throwing out wiffle balls at basketball games and taking pictures on the sideline. Knock it off. Yeah. That's not what it's about. Just if he loves Detroit so much, then he can just call his agent and say, get a deal done. And he didn't do that. Okay. And I wouldn't have expected him to.
Yep. Well, hey, listen, I'm going to say, I don't think the Leafs were as bad as this season showed. We'll see if Gavin McKenna can come in, presumably. Gavin McKenna, although I'll remind everybody, I think everybody thought that there was going to be a certain number one pick a couple years back, and the Habs shocked everybody by taking Slavkovsky, and I think that worked out well, comparatively speaking. But I think McKenna's kind of been the guy for like a year now. Let's see if it helps. I mean, let's see if Austin Matthews.
Totally different game, man. So, totally different game. I would not be expecting him to come in and do what Macklin Celebrini's doing.
No, heavens no.
Or Matthew Schaefer.
No. Schaefer is unbelievable. I don't think enough's being said about it.
That dude is really special. Yeah, special.
Somebody said to me, what do you think about Demidov winning the Rookie of the Year? And I said, any other year, he'd win the Calder. But you have, here's that word, that guy had a transcendental freshman year. He did. I mean, that's like, there's him and everybody else. That's it. That's the way it was this year. So check out Shep in the morning every morning. He's got the network thing going on. Pal, always a pleasure. Let's go watch the games.
All right, brother. All right, we'll see you next week.
All right, best, God brother. Bless y'all. We'll see you. Keep hope alive.
Shep and Sean, featuring Matt Shepard and Sean Baligian. Executive produced by Sean Baligian and Todd Losey. Theme song, incidental music, and related sound effects are from Still Alive by Anti-Ghost. Engineering, mixing, and graphic design support provided by the Unsyndicated Podcast team. Don't forget to like and subscribe on all your favorite channels. While you're there, be sure to rate and review the podcast. Call the Unsyndicated hotline at 248-237-3257.